Tonight on KGW News, a hotel that's been the site of 3 deadly shootings.
There's something terrible going on at that location.
How police are trying to calm the violence before more families lose loved ones. Plus, a warning from detectives about a suspect accused of posing as a teenager to sexually abuse children.
We got to remember that these offenders are doing everything in their power to get close to kids.
And later, the patients caught in the middle as a major insurer drops local hospitals.
Without her care, she will suffer drastically.
So what's standing in the way when it comes to reaching a deal? Good evening. We begin tonight with a live view from our Skycam in the Dalles, where you're looking at a blanket of snow on the ground. We're keeping an eye on parts of the gorge, the Hood River Valley, and down through the Cascades, which need to be prepared not just for that, but for, sorry to say, some ice and freezing rain. Thanks for joining us. David Mulco here along with Celine Stevens in for Matt. Celine, Happy New Year. Break down the potential for winter weather for us.
Happy New Year. And yeah, we're starting the year off. We started it off pretty wet. We've been seeing rainfall for the past 2 days, and that's continuing into Friday. So take a look right now. Rose City is looking fine. We're seeing some rain, 42 degrees outside. But the real story, of course, is in the area of the Hood River Valley, those mountains, Mount St. Helens. We're looking at Government Camp because, again, we're seeing a lot of freezing rain as we get into the evening hours overnight. So taking a look at the satellite over the last couple of hours, that rain's been pushing through our area. You can see the snow and the ice already in the mountain areas. We got a little bit of a break here more locally over the past few hours. Again, it's continuing throughout the evening, and this is really when the freezer rain starts overnight in those early morning hours, and the ice will begin to accumulate. And so you'll see that in our watches and warnings. Again, we have that winter weather advisory that went into effect today, expiring tomorrow afternoon. We could see anywhere from 1/10 to 3/10 of an inch of ice accumulating in that region. Again, of the Hood River Valley, we could see 1 to 4 inches of snow in those higher elevations above 3,000 feet. Even more of that. So just know the roads are going to be slick, pretty dangerous out there. You want to avoid it if you can. Again, this goes until 4 p.m. tomorrow, going all the way down even to the Mount Bachelor area. So this is going to be a pretty wide range of areas, seeing again this freezing rain overnight and elevations from 500 to 2,000 feet. And so looking at our future cast real fast, again, tomorrow a cold front moves in early tomorrow morning. We're seeing more rain throughout the day that turns to scattered showers. After around 9 a.m. tomorrow, the ice shouldn't be too big of an issue. We'll talk more about it in the full forecast coming up in a bit. David?
Just a reminder that winter has arrived. Thank you, Celine. New tonight, Portland police say they are zeroing in on criminal activity at a Northeast Portland hotel, one that's been the site of 3 deadly shootings in less than 8 weeks, with the latest on New Year's Eve. Alma McCarty talked with authorities and the sister of one of the victims. Alma?
Well, David, this hotel is near the intersection of Northeast Sandy and 82nd Avenue. I spoke with several neighbors this evening who told me crime's not uncommon on this street, but that they've been encountering more issues recently, including 3 deadly shootings in a short span of time.
On the last day of 2024, Portland police officers surrounded the parking lot at the Quality Inn, responding to yet another deadly shooting here.
There's something terrible going on at that location, and I don't know what actually is happening and who is responsible and who is allowing it.
Less than a month ago, Andrea Given's youngest brother, Benjamin Walker, was shot and killed in this same spot. Her family misses him dearly.
Ben was so funny and so smart, so engaging. He's super handsome, so he was always, working that angle a little bit. We just love Ben sincerely.
Portland police say there haven't been any arrests in either case, nor in the earliest case, a deadly shooting back on November 20th.
3 in that short a period of time absolutely raised our eyebrows, and we know it has raised a lot of concerns in our community.
Sergeant Kevin Allen explains there's no indication any of the homicides are related, but they have prompted officers to take action.
The North Precinct commander told me today that his neighborhood response team is not only well aware of the problems at the hotel, but it is their top priority right now as far as enforcement goes.
Another possible course of action to deal with the criminal activity, listing this as a chronic nuisance property.
There is a city ordinance that allows us to elicit sanctions against an owner of a chronic nuisance property where repeated law-breaking activity has happened. And
Officers say there's no overnight fix, but they are dedicated to making a change with the help of neighbors.
We can't do this ourselves, and engaging with the community will always yield a better result.
Givens tells me she hopes investigators follow through on each of these deadly cases.
One thing that, concerns our family and probably the families of the other victims in these cases is, will the police take it seriously? Will they do their best to find the people responsible for this?
Along with these deadly shooting investigations, PPB is also doing more in the area when it comes to human trafficking missions. Officers say dozens of people were arrested or cited back in December. David, back to you.
Alma McCarty in the newsroom there. Thanks. Appreciate the follow-up on that. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, after months of searching, Portland police have arrested a high-profile suspected graffiti vandal. Officers arrested 40-year-old James Fischel at home this morning on multiple counts of criminal mischief. This is video from a documentary where he appeared with his face covered last year. That is when investigators first got a look at a lot of the evidence against him. Then in June, authorities searched his home and say they seized more than $10,000 worth of spray paint. In Gresham, police are looking for a driver involved in a deadly hit and run. This is video of a small gray hatchback authorities say they believe took off after it struck and killed Ryan Winchester just after midnight on December 7th. Police say Winchester was crossing Northeast Burnside near Cleveland Avenue. He leaves behind a wife and young children. And 2 children have died from flu-related symptoms in Oregon, according to the Oregon Health Authority. The deaths happened between December 22nd and 28th. So far this season, about 474 people have been hospitalized with flu in the Portland area. That's compared to 134 flu hospitalizations by around the same time last season. We are learning more tonight about the arrest of a suspect facing sex abuse charges, Salem police say, who posed as a minor online to meet teenage girls. Catherine Cook is here with what authorities know about the case. Catherine?
David, police arrested Jeremy Brahman this week. He's 24. But investigators say he told his alleged victims he was much younger than that. They say there could be other victims out there, and they hope they come forward.
Take a look at these photos. Salem police say this is Jeremy Brahman. He's a 24-year-old man, but investigators say he's been posing as a minor online while luring teenage girls. Detectives with Salem PD's Special Victims Unit arrested Brahman New Year's Eve. He's facing multiple counts of second-degree sex abuse, third-degree rape, and third-degree sodomy. Investigators say he targeted his victims on social media.
We got to remember that these offenders are doing everything in their power to get close to kids, and that's how they do it.
Robert Rockhausen is a sergeant with the Washington County Sheriff's Office. He's not connected with the Salem case, but investigated child abuse for 10 years. He urges parents to have open lines of communication with their kids about online predators.
For a lot of parents, this is uncomfortable to talk about. But the Salem case today, if parents can sit down and talk to their kids about this and kind of let them know that these people are out there and these are real people. We're not talking about the boogeyman. We're not talking about some hypothetical thing. This is happening. This is happening in our community every day.
Salem police want to hear from anyone who had contact with Brahman. In this case, they say he was active on Snapchat and Instagram. When contacting minor girls, his usernames included Little J, J Brahman O, and Yaboy Lil J. Sergeant Rockhausen says, generally speaking, sex offenders cast a wide net to reach victims, often using multiple apps and platforms to find them. He urges parents to do what they can to monitor their kids' online activity, since it's likely always changing.
It's important, again, to be very vigilant and be on top of this stuff.
Jeremy Brahman is 5'2", has brown hair and brown eyes. Police say he drives newer white sedans. Anyone with information on this case is asked to call Salem Police at 503-540-2418. We also have that number up for you right now on KGW.com. David, back to you.
Thanks, Catherine. Appreciate you helping us get the word out on this one. Portland's brand new mayor, Keith Wilson, began his term today with an update around his top priority, expanding homeless shelters. Within a week, the plan is to get 200 temporary shelter beds open for 10 hours a night that will stay open for the next 3 months or so. The Salvation Army is going to run operations at the locations on Southwest 2nd and another on North Williams. Portland and Multnomah County leaders say the new overnight beds add to the 3,000 across the area. Mayor Wilson, who has promised to end unsheltered homelessness by the end of 2025, calls it just the start.
But it's not just 200 beds. I want you to know that's just the tip of what we're going to provide in this next 11 months to care for every Portlander by next winter.
The mayor also says he's committed to the city's agreement with the county when it comes to homeless response. Meanwhile, the new Portland City Council met for the first time today and selected who would lead the 12-member governing body. It's part of the major changes to the city's form of government, with 4 districts, each represented by 3 councilors. After several rounds of votes and breaks, council selected Ilana Pirtle-Guinea as president and Tiffany Koyama Lane as vice president. Meanwhile, Multnomah County's new district attorney, Nathan Vasquez, was sworn in at the afternoon at the county courthouse. Vasquez then in turn swore in dozens of his deputies. Afterward, he talked to us about some of his priorities, including the drug crisis, gun violence, and holding the people responsible for those crimes accountable. He says he plans to also look closely at newer programs like the county's deflection center.
As long as that I'm seeing that it is getting people meaningfully connected to treatment, yes. Do I think there may be some changes? Perhaps, but the chair and I will discuss that.
Vasquez officially takes office on Monday.